In the remote Outer Hebrides stands the Eilean Mor Lighthouse, a beacon meant to guide ships safely. But in 1900, its three keepers disappeared mysteriously, leaving questions that have baffled investigators for over a century. The story of the Eilean Mor Lighthouse keepers begins on December 15, 1900, when three men, Thomas Marshall, James Duckett, and Donald MacArthur, were stationed to maintain the lighthouse. When relief crew arrived weeks later, they found the lighthouse deserted. The logbooks stopped abruptly, meals remained uneaten, and the keepers were nowhere to be found. No signs of struggle or disaster were found, only an overturned chair and a smashed clock. Theories have ranged from giant waves washing them away to hallucinations or even paranormal interference. Despite extensive searches and investigations, no trace of the men was ever discovered. Their disappearance remains one of the most haunting maritime mysteries, inviting endless speculation about what truly happened on that stormy island. What do you think happened to the keepers of Eilean Mor? Let us know your theory in the comments. The Eilean Mor Lighthouse was perched on a tiny, jagged island battered by the relentless Atlantic Ocean, marking a critical point for vessels navigating the perilous maritime routes of the Outer Hebrides. Its remote location meant it was more than just a navigational aid. It was a lifeline for ships passing through waters filled with hidden rocks, sudden storms, and powerful currents. The keepers stationed there faced unimaginable isolation, cut off from the mainland for weeks at a time, with only the crashing waves and howling winds for company. Their duties were physically demanding and mentally taxing. They had to ensure the lighthouse's light never faltered, sweeping the dark skies every night with a beam that could pierce through thick fog and tempestuous weather to warn sailors of danger. The environment itself was unforgiving, a place where fierce storms could whip waves higher than the rocky cliffs and bitter cold sapped strength and morale. Maintaining the lighthouse meant constant vigilance and resilience, living day-to-day in near solitude on an island small enough to walk around in minutes yet vast enough in its harshness to feel endless. This rugged setting not only shaped the keepers' daily lives, but also set the stage for the mystery that would perplex the world years later, making their disappearance all the more haunting against such a stark and formidable backdrop. When the supply ship finally reached Eilean Mor on that cold December day in 1900, the scene it encountered was deeply unsettling. The lighthouse stood silent and empty, the usual signs of life glaringly absent. Inside, the men's belongings lay exactly as they had been left. Hats hung on pegs, boots neatly placed by the door, tools undisturbed on workbenches. A meal sat uneaten on the table, the aroma of the food still lingering in the air, suggesting the men had vanished suddenly without any chance to finish eating or to prepare for leaving. What made the situation even stranger were the logs that the keepers had meticulously maintained. These showed no indication of anything abnormal or any distress signals. The entries were routine and methodical, painting a picture of men going about their duties until the very end. No notes, no messages, and no clues explained how or where they had gone, sparking immediate panic and wild speculation among rescuers, and those on the mainland. Some questioned whether the isolation and extreme weather conditions might have driven them mad, or if some accident had swept them away. Others whispered about more mysterious possibilities, supernatural forces, undiscovered dangers, or maybe even foul play. Yet, despite numerous investigations and searches in the following weeks, the fate of the lighthouse keepers remained an eerie, unsolved enigma, amplifying the eerie aura surrounding the island and cementing the story of Eilean Mor as one of the most enduring maritime mysteries in history. Search parties combed every corner of Eilean Mor and its turbulent surrounding waters, yet no trace of the three men was ever discovered. Over time, the absence of physical evidence bred a fertile ground for countless theories, each attempting to fill the void left by the keepers' sudden disappearance. Some speculated that monstrous waves or violent storms might have swept the men out to sea, an accident hidden by the harsh, relentless North Atlantic weather. Others pondered the darker possibilities. Did tensions among the men escalate to a deadly conflict? Could sabotage or foul play have been at work in this isolated outpost? More fantastical accounts even entertain the notion of supernatural forces at play, perhaps linked to local legends and the island's eerie reputation. Each hypothesis underscores the puzzle's complexity, reflecting our own struggle to make sense of an event that defies simple explanation. This mystery, wrapped in silence and interrupted lives, pushes us to consider how thin the line is between reality and legend when the known world fades into the unknown. Amid these swirling theories, the tangible evidence that did emerge from the scene tells another compelling part of the story. Signs of a fierce storm were undeniable, damaged equipment scattered around the lighthouse, and a clock frozen at an exact time hint at sudden chaos. Some argue that this points to the men being caught completely off guard by rapidly changing, violent weather, overwhelmed by the unrelenting power of nature and the sea. Yet this alone does not settle the mystery. Others remain skeptical, proposing that the state of the scene was deliberately manipulated, perhaps to mislead investigators or cover up what truly happened. The clock stopped at a precise moment, almost as if time itself had been punctuated by an unseen event. No bodies or definitive proof of the men's fate were ever found, deepening the enigma and allowing speculation to flourish endlessly. This haunting lack of closure has made the story endure through decades, compelling us to ponder how fragile human existence can be when confronted by forces beyond our control or understanding. As the island and its secrets remain silent, we're left to wonder whether the truth is a simple tragedy born from nature's wrath or a puzzle that will forever escape our grasp. The legacy of the Eilean Mor lighthouse keepers goes far beyond the immediate mystery of their disappearance. It has permeated culture and collective imagination, transforming from a local tragedy into a powerful symbol of the unknown. Their story has been retold time and again in books, films, and documentaries, each iteration adding layers to the mythos while keeping the core questions alive. This fascination speaks to our deep-seated fear and respect for the sea's unpredictable nature and the isolation experienced by those who tend lighthouses in remote outposts. Beyond entertainment, the tale casts light on the extreme conditions faced by lighthouse keepers, who often worked under exhausting and dangerous circumstances, isolated from the mainland and vulnerable to both weather and solitude. The story also serves as a stark reminder that even in modern times, despite advances in technology and communication, there exist places and situations still dominated by nature's raw power and mystery. In the end, the disappearance remains a chilling testament to how much remains unknown in our world, and why some mysteries continue to capture our imagination and caution us with their enduring silence. The story of the Eilean Mor lighthouse keepers reminds us that some mysteries resist explanation, lingering as haunting echoes of the unknown. Their disappearance not only challenges our understanding, but also highlights the immense isolation and dangers faced in remote places where nature still holds sway. It's a timeless enigma that continues to captivate and caution us about the unpredictable force of the sea and the fragile human spirit guarding its shores. If you found this mystery intriguing, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more chilling stories from the depths of history and the sea.